He's driving right now, so Manhattan might be giving him a little bit of trouble.
But
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, he's cutting out a lot.
Coach, I would say your best bet is probably to turn your Wi-Fi off. If you just go to might be the best way to do it. Turn your Wi-Fi off on your phone.
Okay. Is that any?
What's that?
I was going to say, is that any better?
How's that look for y'all?
About the same.
Yeah, it might just be the room you're in, Coach.
Okay, yeah, it's awfully dark in here. That's not it. I'll turn the Wi-Fi off and see if that helps right quick.
Yeah, that should help.
Okay, it's off.
Jim, we can go ahead, but the video just from I don't know if Sean's having the same issue. The video is just going to be a little bit, spotty.
Yeah. All right. Well, Coach, I think we can go ahead and get started. If you want to go to the team room or something, but it's probably pretty full. So if you want to do it from there, I think we'll get by. I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
I would say first question, if you want to actually, you know what, Coach, if you just want to, we'll probably just let you open it up and then we'll go to Eric and Don for first questions. But Coach, if you just want to kind of open it up.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I wanted to give the ladies a lot of credit. We scored 106 points, and there's not many times we scored over 100. And so I felt like they really gave a great run today. We were really hoping to catch K-State and be second in the meet, but we knew that them hosting, they were going to have about, as I say, about a 10-point cushion starting the meet. So that's about what they beat us. But we had a few things that could have changed it, and we could have been there. But just overall, proud of the ladies and the fight that they had. And this is probably the three best teams I've seen in 20 years with Texas, K-State, and us. And so no shame there to get third. Just really proud of them.
Coach, I know you talked about the ladies, and we can go to them in a second, but I just want to ask about, we talked about these two guys pretty much ever since they got hurt and kind of their road back, but to see Courtney and Jacoby go 1-2, it's got to be pretty, nice to see, considering how long of a road back it's kind of been for both of them.
No, you're exactly right. And these conditions today, I mean, about 58 degrees, pouring rain most of the time, just miserable, a very miserable day today. And I was scared to death with them leading the 4x1 off and then coming back with the 100 and then Courtney coming back with the 200. But I will say the highlight of the day was seeing those two come across the line on photo finish. In fact, I thought Jacoby had won and Courtney was hidden on the other side. So it was pretty neat when we saw 1-2 come up there and then them both come out of this meet healthy. So, they haven't run but about 3 races all year outdoors. So I feel in the next 3 weeks, they're going to really get much better.
What does that say about kids who are able to go that long and kind of work back and then just perform at such a high level?
Well, it shows their resiliency and to be missing out on so much and then having to rehab when you're hurt, man, there is nothing fun about it. And you're watching everybody compete each week and then you're just trying to get back. And both of them had been at a really high level. And then to be able to try to get back and do that is really tough. So Courtney's just tough as a boot. I mean, he is just, we call him the dog, he's a dog. I mean, he's got that dog mentality. And then Jacoby, he's tough. I mean, he really runs a good, decent start. You saw him indoors in the 60. I think he came in ranked like I don't know, sixth place and then won the Big 12 in the indoor 60. And so for him to run the 100 like he did, it didn't surprise me. I just wish we'd had better conditions. I think their time would have been a lot faster.
And then how big was that performance from Seasons coming in with that third place finish in the discus?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was pleased with her. She was really disappointed. She wanted to win the Big 12, and they had terrible conditions. It was pouring rain when she was trying to throw, and they were having a hard time holding the disc, and it was slick, but I think it was within 3 or 4 feet, 5 feet of it, the first three. So, she competed well. Kaylee got us a point, I think, in that event too. So we were hanging in there. We just would love to see her with that Big 12 championship. I think she's earned it.
Went to a Big 12, another Big 12 champion. At this point, what more can you say about kind of Ruth? And it just seems like you can kind of, obviously there's a lot more that goes into it, but it just seems like you can just write her in.
Well,
for those
fun to see it again. That first jump was 46-1, I believe, and I think 44 was second place. So she, and it was terrible conditions. I was scared for her because that board's slick, and so when she got it on her first attempt, we didn't take all the others, and so it made it so much fun when you take the pressure off. But she's a competitor. She's hard to beat.
Just tired of making it dramatic.
Yeah, did it on the first jump this time. Much easier on the old coach.
What are the positive things that you take out of this meet, even though it's rainy and everything, and you weren't able to get the results that you wanted for regionals and nationals? There has to be some good that you take out of this. What are the good things you take out of this?
I think there's two things. I think a lot of kids, this year's been really hard, and we haven't really competed in this type of competition that much. So I really think we learned a lot. We got put in the fire big time in this meet. And so it's going to be just like the regionals coming up. And I think, the ones that might've been just a teensy bit passive on the first, 100 meters of their race or whatever it might be, I think they learned from that. And so I'm really looking like we're going to go into this next round a little bit more with an edge. And then I think just being tough and resilient through bad conditions, and you got to step up when there's bad conditions. And so, man, the weather was just awful today. It's beautiful for the first 2 days, and then today was just terrible. So we made it work. I don't think we came out of it with any major injuries at all. And so you have to learn from every situation. And so I think we did that.
So no other injuries to report from this weekend?
No, nothing serious that I know of. We got a few little nicks here and there, but I don't think there was anything serious.
Wes, I don't remember if you mentioned him or not, but Gabe winning the disc, I believe.
Yeah, we did not talk about Gabe, and Gabe, well, I think he won it on his first attempt, to be honest with you. 184, I believe, might have won, but he threw a 187. He was just almost throwing 187, 184, 185 every throw. And of course, it was not good conditions. It was what we call a left-hander's wind. He's a right-hander. He's out of the east, and we're throwing south. So, but he just competed, got in there and got that first throw. When you get that first throw, like Ruth gets that first jump, it puts pressure on people, and no one ever rose to the occasion after that. So, but glad to get his first Big 12 championship in the discus. So gives us something to look forward to at A&M in 2 weeks. And so hopefully he's got more confidence.
Curious what you thought of the performance from Monet. Must have obviously a really, really good jump to get on the podium. I think, what was it, yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday in the long jump, I mean, she got a good jump early also, put the pressure on the field. Ruth was a little bit off, and so I think they finally wound up almost tying, but Monet beat her by a quarter of an inch or something. But, those two compete really well together, and I think then they help each other. And love to have seen her, get that 22 foot again, but she had high 21s and very consistent. That's what I was really liked about her, is all her jumps were consistent.
Then this is a group I guess we don't really talk about as much throughout the season, but your women's pole vaulters, really good weekend for them, I guess, from your eyes.
Yeah, when we get 4 on the podium, we took 4 and we got all 4 on the podium. My goodness, we took half of the spots. So really neat. And Coach Tom Slagle just does a fabulous job coaching that group. And so I can't say enough about him. But I love the edge those girls came in and just, competed. And I love seeing that. They're pretty pleased.
Okay, where have you seen that group kind of grow? Because obviously, to get that type of performance, one that maybe we haven't seen in years past, but where have you seen them kind of come together and be that?
Well, the
good?
thing about this meet, I think Shanae, who has been the best all year, she finished 8th. And so out of the group, Shanae had the hardest time this weekend. And so they've just grown to where they kind of feed off each other, but then they're competitive, so they want to beat each other. And so I think they're not like looking and saying, "Oh, Shanae did bad, so now I can't jump." It was more like they just get an edge about them, and I think that's the funnest thing for me to see is how much that's changed.
Y'all good?
I got one
Oh.
more question. Sorry. One more question about pole vaulters. In particular, Sarah, being a Lubbock kid, how cool was that to see her kind of have so much success, especially early on in her career? Lubbock kid performing at her hometown school.
Yeah, it's really special. And of course, Tom, coached her in club. So he even coached her when she was in, 7th grade, 8th grade, all that. So they have this long relationship. And then to see her really flourish, especially the last month of this year, and to see her gain confidence, that's what she's lacked. And she's starting to gain that confidence. And, I just love seeing it. And so this is her freshman year. She missed last year outdoor because of COVID. So really she's just a freshman, and to get first outdoor she's ever gone to a championship. So, and to be able to score, it's really going to be good for her for the future and building that confidence.
Y'all good? All right.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Jeremy. Safe travels
Yep.
back.
Thank you.
So for guys, we'll have Gabe Oladipo. He's about to hop on too. And if you have any particular requests for anybody else, Ruth was on the bus and she's going to be busy when she gets back. So if anybody has any individual requests, just pass them on and I'll get to them. But other than that, Gabe, if you're on, if you want to turn your camera on and we can get rolling with you. And Eric, if you're able to pin him as well, that'd be great.
I don't think he's on yet.
No, let me text him. And we'll start with Don for first questions for Gabe.
Okay.
Gabe, how do you feel about having a Big 12 title and just your performance overall this weekend, how you did in each of the different throwing events?
Well, first things first, I just want to thank God for allowing me to come out here, have a good time with the team, score some points, and, most importantly, come out of the meet healthy. There was some crazy weather going on, and it's just a blessing to be able to compete and do what I love to do the most. To answer your question, it was an okay weekend. I didn't do as well as I particularly would have liked in the hammer or the shot put, but to be able to come through in the discus and still win that with the crazy weather that we had, it was great. And it was great to be able to get those points for the team as well.
Since we weren't there, how would you describe the conditions that you were throwing in today?
Oh man, it was brutal. It was brutal. It was pouring down rain. It's tough. It's tough to navigate the circle in rain like that, just because discus is so technical. And you really need to focus and concentrate more to be able to get off some decent throws in weather like that.
And Wes said it wasn't an ideal wind for you either.
Right. No, it really wasn't. And the funny part about that is the rain was so intense at certain points that you almost forgot the wind was a factor. It was just, you just wanted to stay upright in the ring. You know, people were slipping and falling, and, you know, luckily nobody got hurt, but it was brutal. It was hard to throw in for sure.
But I guess you at least took some pressure off yourself by getting a couple of good throws right off the bat.
Right. You know, you always want to kind of start well, set the tone. It was a really fun meet. I've been competing against a lot of those guys for years, even back to high school. So it was really fun to be able to get after it with those guys, and like you said, to be able to set the tone with some big throws early. And you know, luckily they were able to hold up through the whole competition.
I'll let Eric or Sean jump in.
Gabe, when you get out to a strong start like that, where does your focus is it more kind of nervous watching other people throw? So you're like, okay, like, are they going to get to that point? Or are you so focused in on yourself of being like, okay, I'm good, but let's keep pushing it?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I don't think anybody can lie and say that they don't look at the people next to them when they're competing, because you have to be aware of where you stand. But for the most part, I really was just trying to build upon each throw, get a little better each throw. I feel like technically I made a lot of improvements this weekend in particular. I had some really, really good warm-ups that, you know, under normal conditions could potentially be personal best. So there's a lot of good things to take from this meet. But no, I definitely knew I wanted to start strong and just build on every throw. And I mean, honestly, it felt like there were a lot of good things going on in the ring. It just wasn't able to get all the distance out of it today.
Talk about some of the technique improvements and the good practice throws you had this weekend. Just even from the start of this outdoor season, where do you think you've grown or gotten better? Or where do you think that improvement has been?
So it's been kind of tough because obviously this is my first outdoor season competing for Texas Tech. And we've had to learn a lot in a short amount of time. And every throwing event is very technical and very specific. You know, matter of fact, like in the hammer, I think I was the only non-hammer thrower that scored. You know what I mean? It's like those people just do hammer and they're great at it. So I really wanted to be able to help the team in every way that I could. So, you know, that requires a lot of learning in different events. And, you know, especially in the discus, which is my favorite event, it's very technical. We had a lot of bad habits that I needed to break in the disc, and it's really a lot of learning on the fly. You know, we have the off season to work on things, but then obviously we have the indoor season where we had to really get after it in the weight and in the shot put. So when it came to outdoor, it was more so the urgency of the seasons making you pick things up. It's either you're going to get it or you're not going to get it. So, you know, in order to accomplish all of the things that we like to, including obviously Olympic trials and God willing, the Olympic Games, it's going to require improvement. So sometimes, especially meets like this, you have to take the small victories where they come. And like I said, I felt a lot of good things in the ring, and I feel like they translate really nicely under better conditions.
Was specializing an option that you have in kind of the throwing world, or is it something where it just comes with the territory where you got to kind of be versatile and try everything?
It really depends on the person. For me, one of the biggest goals I've had personally, I've always wanted to win a team championship. And I feel that, you know, I have the talent and the ability to be able to do multiple events and score in all of the events, which luckily I was able to do, even if it didn't involve particularly great performances. But I've never been a specialist really in anything my whole life. I've been doing multiple sports every year since I was a little kid, and just putting my focus into whatever I was doing at the time. And that just kind of translated into the throws as well. You know, it's tough when you are going against people that only do one thing, because they're getting 2 to 3 times as many reps as you are in that one event. But with some hard work, I believe that you're able to kind of close the gap with maybe some of the things that you learn doing other events, if that makes any sense.
I was curious, following up on that, Gabe, you said you've done multiple sports since you were a little kid. What all have you played?
So actually, my first sport was baseball. I was a pitcher and a first baseman. Played that all the way through high school. Picked up basketball. Played basketball since I was a little kid, and then played at the varsity level in high school as well. And then I played a little bit of football in high school. I played spring ball my sophomore year. I actually had a knee injury my junior year that stopped me from. I was going to play football my junior and senior year in high school, and that knee injury kind of prevented me from doing that. And with that being a big recruiting year, the junior year, I just decided to focus on throwing, considering I had just made my first U.S. team, and I was having a lot of fun with track and field. So that's the point that I decided to stop, only do track.
In baseball, did you like pitching better or hitting better?
I really like both. They're both really rewarding. I don't think people understand how hard baseball is. Like, I feel like hitting the baseball efficiently is one of the hardest things to do in any sport. It's so specific. But pitching, I just love being in control of the pace. You know what I mean? I love controlling the game and just having to outsmart your opponents with your pitch selection, and sometimes just overpowering them with speed. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
I was going to say, you're probably an intimidating dude standing out there on the mound against the guys in the box, huh?
I'd probably be a lot more intimidating now, but I mean, but at the time, it was still a lot of fun. It wasn't quite as big as this, but yeah, I'd agree with you.
Did you hit a few homers back then?
Oh yeah, of course. I had to get it done on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. I just love doing everything. Like I said before, it's like whenever I put my focus in whatever I was doing. A lot of pitchers, they don't practice batting. I said, no, I want to be the best hitter and I want to be the best pitcher. So that's just kind of the mindset that I have going into whatever it is I'm doing.
Yeah. Did you bat right-handed or left-handed? Or are you right-handed?
Right-handed, yes, sir.
Y'all good?
I think I'm good.
We're all
All
good.
right.
Thanks, Gabe.
Guys, thanks for getting
All right,
on.
thank-
Gabe, great job.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Gabe.
I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.